Some homes are simply beautiful, others cozy and welcoming, but then there are those with pasts so dark that even the bravest buyers hesitate to step inside. From cursed estates with tragic histories to homes marked by eerie accidents, these properties seem plagued by misfortune at every turn. Over time, their unsettling pasts cast a shadow, with tales of strange happenings, family misfortunes, and a streak of inexplicable bad luck that makes anyone think twice about moving in. If walls could talk, these houses would tell stories better suited for a horror novel than a real estate listing. Enter at your own risk as we explore homes with such haunting histories. They appear destined to live under a cloud of misfortune. First up, we have Donellan Hall in Connecticut, a sprawling Jacobean-style mansion with a history as grand as it is tragic. Built in 1918 in Greenwich for industrialist Daniel G. Reed, the mansion was a wedding gift for his daughter Ray. Lavishly constructed at a cost of $1 million, equivalent to about $20 million today, the mansion was the crown jewel of the area. But soon after its completion, dark events began to unfold. Reed's health declined dramatically by 1919, and by 1925, he had passed away at age 66 after years of struggling with a serious opiate addiction. His daughter Ray passed away just 2 decades later, at the age of 61, marking the beginning of a string of misfortunes associated with the property. In 1950, the estate was sold to Loring Washburn, a textile tycoon who went bankrupt soon after. The mansion sat vacant until 1967, when showgirl and former auto heiress Gregg Sherwood Dodge Moran purchased it, only to see her life spiral into bankruptcy and scandal. Later, owners faced similar ill fates. An investor was charged with larceny and died before trial, while another, oil mogul Ravi Tiku, ended up bankrupt himself. In the 1980s, Leona Helmsley, known as the Queen of Mean, and her husband bought the mansion for the modern equivalent of $32 million, investing heavily in its restoration. But the curse didn't spare them either, as Leona later served prison time for tax evasion. After her passing in 2007, the house eventually went back on the market, listed in 2014 for $65 million. Despite its beauty and history, Donellan Hall languished on the market for years, finally selling in 2020 at a heavily reduced price of $16.5 million. One can only wonder if the latest owner will escape the mansion's unlucky legacy. This house clearly has a very dark past, but besides all that negativity, I think this home is beautiful and something out of a movie. Would you ever live in this home? Our next Eerie stop brings us to Castello de Donach, a striking yet unfinished castle in Portugal's northern Braga region. The construction began in 1915, commissioned by wealthy Brazilian heiress Francisca José Ferreira and her husband. Designed by Swiss architect Ernest Carrati, the castle featured a mix of Gothic and Renaissance styles, adding a unique flair to the countryside. However, the project came to an abrupt halt in 1919 when Francisca and her husband separated. Rumor has it that Francisca clashed with the local parish priest due to her frequent parties and her modern disregard for the traditional dress code, causing scandal in the conservative community. Legend says that before leaving Portugal for Brazil in the 1930s after another divorce, Francisca cursed the castle, vowing it would never be finished or lived in. True or not, the curse seems to linger. In 1938, an English aristocrat bought the half-built castle, but there's no record he ever lived there. Later owners, including wealthy bookkeeper Alberto Torres and businessman Francisco Machado, attempted to continue construction. However, both removed many original features, such as intricate tile work and wooden interiors, which only added to its crumbling state. Though officially declared complete in 1991, the castle's original plans were never fully realized. Local legend even claims that Princess Diana expressed interest in purchasing the castle before her tragic passing in 1997. To this day, Castello de Donach has never truly been inhabited, passing from one owner to the next, a grand estate forever held in limbo. Next, we venture into the eerie halls of Balroy Mansion in Pennsylvania. This grand 32-room mansion in Philadelphia's prestigious Chestnut Hill neighborhood was built around 1911 by a carpenter rumored to have met a grim end after allegedly murdering his wife. In 1926, Major May Esby, a member of the historic Esby family with roots tracing back to 12th century Yorkshire, acquired the mansion. Soon after moving in, tragedy struck. The major's son, Stephen, mysteriously passed away at just 11 years old. The mansion's dark history, detailed in Haunted Philadelphia, famous phantoms, sinister sights, and lingering legends, tells of an ominous vision in the garden fountain. Shortly before his death, young Stephen and his brother George reportedly saw a skull form in the fountain's water, a haunting image that still gives chills to those who know the tale. Stephen's spirit is said to linger in the mansion, seen by various witnesses, including George's wife, and even recent visitors who claim to have caught glimpses of a blonde boy who disappears as mysteriously as he appears. The mansion's haunting extends beyond Stephen. George's mother, Henrietta, is rumored to walk its corridors, while Thomas Jefferson supposedly makes appearances in the dining room, and the vengeful ghost of the carpenter's wife has frightened visitors with her cane. Strange disturbances, phantom sounds, power cuts, and objects moving on their own suggest a resident poltergeist. Yet the most infamous part of Balroy Mansion is undoubtedly the Blue Room, where the notorious Chair of Death resides. Crafted in the 18th century, the cursed chair is believed to have once belonged to Napoleon and is linked to the deaths of those brave, or unlucky, enough to sit in it. Local historians claim that 4 deaths, including one of George's cousins, can be traced back to this chair, attributed to a vengeful spirit named Amelia or Amanda. Though the chair is now roped off, its deadly legacy remains a cautionary tale to all who visit. Next, we head to Dundas Castle, also known as Craig-y-Clare, nestled in the rugged Catskill Mountains of Roscoe, New York. Known as the Castle of Sorrows, this medieval-style mansion holds a deeply tragic history. Commissioned by affluent New Yorker Ralph W. Dundas in the late 1910s, the castle was meant to be a grand residence. However, Ralph passed away in 1921 before construction could be completed, leaving his wife Josephine and their daughter to face an unfortunate fate. According to the Beaverkill Friends group, Josephine was confined to an asylum shortly after Ralph's death, and their unfinished castle passed to their daughter. Tragically, she too faced hardship, losing her inheritance to deceitful individuals and eventually moving to England, where she suffered from declining mental health. Like her mother, she spent her last days in an institution, never returning to the estate that had marked her family's ill-fated legacy. In 1949, the castle was purchased by the Prince Hall Grand Lodge of the Masonic Order, which used it as a retreat and summer camp until the 1970s, after which it fell into disuse. Local legend holds that Josephine's spirit lingers in the castle, with tales suggesting she was locked in a room until she grew unstable, though there's no solid evidence of this. Rumors also persist that during a full moon, the water in the castle's ponds takes on a haunting red hue. However, there's hope on the horizon for the Castle of Sorrows. The once abandoned mansion is reportedly undergoing a grand renovation, with plans to transform it into a luxury hotel. With any luck, this new chapter will finally lift the curse that seems to have haunted Dundas Castle for generations. Next up is Elda Castle in New York, a hauntingly beautiful estate built in 1927 by David T. Abercrombie, co-founder of the upscale Abercrombie & Fitch. This 25-room castle, with its enchanting turrets, arched windows, and whimsical courtyards, was a medieval-inspired masterpiece when first completed. The castle's name, Elda, came from the initials of Abercrombie's children, Elizabeth, Lucy, David, and Abbott. However, the Abercrombie family was quickly struck by tragedy. In 1929, Lucy was tragically killed in a factory explosion, leaving her father devastated. Abercrombie himself passed away only 2 years later, and his son David Jr. followed, dying at the young age of 35 in 1937. The castle, which once featured a grand great room and was a testament to Abercrombie's success, fell into disrepair after his widow sold it to a paint research company. Following World War II, the castle was abandoned and became a frequent target for vandals. In 1964, James Herrick, president of Herrick Scientific Company, purchased the property for a mere $140,000 and began a restoration effort. But his untimely death in the 1990s halted the project. Since then, Elda Castle has seen several owners, including a J.P. Morgan heir, yet each attempt to restore the estate has ended in disappointment. The property last changed hands in 2011, purchased by a private trust for $3.8 million, but it has remained vacant ever since. The trust attempted to sell it in 2017, initially listing it for $3.7 million, then reducing the price to $3.1 million, but no buyer was found. In a cruel twist, the castle suffered a major fire in 2022 that ravaged its 5 floors, leaving it further damaged. Despite these setbacks, Elda Castle remains on the market for $2.9 million, awaiting an owner bold enough to take on its ill-fated legacy. Next, we journey to Venice's Grand Canal, where an enigmatic 15th century palazzo, known as the Cursed Palazzo, has just gone on the market for $19 million. This stunning Renaissance treasure, layered in 540 years of history, offers not only spectacular views and intricate architecture, but also a notorious legacy of misfortune said to plague its past owners. The construction of this palazzo began in 1479 under Giovanni Dario, a well-regarded Venetian diplomat celebrated for brokering an influential treaty with the Ottoman Empire. Recognized as a local hero, Dario invested his substantial reward into building this grand residence, spanning 4 floors and featuring 10,800 square feet of living space, including 8 bedrooms and 8 bathrooms. The supposed curse began shortly after Dario's death in 1484, when the property was inherited by his daughter, Marietta, and her husband, Vincenzo, a spice merchant. Vincenzo's business soon failed, and he was reportedly murdered, followed by Marietta's own tragic death under mysterious circumstances. Their son later fell victim to an ambush in Crete. In the 19th century, the Barbero family sold the property to a gemstone merchant named Abdul, who swiftly lost his wealth and had to sell the palazzo at a major loss to an English historian who himself went bankrupt within 4 years. The property continued changing hands, with a dark pattern of misfortune following each owner. The curse seemingly reached beyond the walls. In 1964, prospective buyer Mario Del Monaco had a serious car accident en route to view the property and ultimately reconsidered his interest. In the 1970s, Count Filippo di Lanza acquired the palazzo, only to meet a violent end at the hands of his lover within its walls. Many attribute the curse to the land's possible history as a Templar cemetery, or perhaps to a sinister event that took place on the site long ago. Beyond the eerie history, the palazzo's Gothic architecture is truly captivating, with grand marble fireplaces, intricate columns, and beam ceilings. However, the home's age is apparent, as it leans slightly due to subsidence, a testament to its centuries-old foundations above the Venetian waters. It's a shame this stunning home has such a creepy history, because I personally would love to live here and enjoy the views and live right on the water. But with that being said, I don't know if I would risk it all moving in and inheriting all the negative energy.
Alright everyone, I think that's going to wrap this video up. Like I mentioned in the beginning, follow all my social media, and also 50% of the people who watch me don't subscribe. So just, if you're watching, just click the subscribe button. It's free, it means a lot. And then an alternative option would be to become a member, which costs a couple dollars, but then, you know, I'll be calling you guys, FaceTiming you guys. You get cool badges, you get exclusive videos. I'll be making videos that I can't show, like public channel. So you guys get a ton of cool features and by clicking here and becoming a member. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I love you guys. Thank you for the constant support. Feel free to share this video on anything, and I'll see you in the next video. Later.